September 2022. Inside the New York headquarters of Rockstar Games, the night is quiet. Teams are deep in development on the most anticipated video game in history, a project rumored to cost over $2 billion. But then, a strange message appears on an internal system. A single ominous message that shatters the silence. The storm had arrived. In a nondescript hotel room across the Atlantic, a 17-year-old boy hits a key, and the gaming world changes forever. This is the story of Arian Courage, an autistic teenager from Oxford, England, and the leader of one of the most audacious hacking groups of the modern era, Lapsus Dullo. Before they took on Rockstar, their resume was already terrifying. They'd breached titans like Uber, Nvidia, and even Microsoft, leaking sensitive source code to the world. Lapsus wasn't just another group of criminals, they were digital ghosts, and Arian was their mastermind. But to understand how a kid could bring a multi-billion-dollar corporation to its knees, we have to go back to the beginning. It all started around 2017. Like many kids, Arian found his power in the digital world. At first, it was simple things, like cheating in Minecraft. But he quickly discovered a talent for understanding systems, for finding the cracks in the code. Living with autism and ADHD, the online world offered him a sense of control he struggled to find elsewhere. Soon he graduated from game cheats to more serious ventures. He formed a group called Infinity Recursion, specializing in SIM swapping, hijacking phone numbers to intercept security codes. They even used forged legal requests to trick companies into handing over user data. But this was just the warm-up. Arian wanted more. He wanted bigger targets, bigger chaos. And so, Lapsus was born. The core tactic of Lapsus wasn't complex code, it was weaponized human trust. They mastered the art of social engineering. They would call a company's help desk, pretending to be an employee who'd lost their password. Or they'd spoof an IT manager's identity, convincing contractors to grant them system access. They targeted the weakest link in any security chain, people. Their biggest score using this method was Microsoft. They didn't just get in. They walked out with the source code for Bing and Cortana, posting proof for the entire world to see. They weren't just stealing data, they were humiliating giants. But it was this very same arrogance that would lead to Arian's first mistake. The downfall began with a feud over a website called Doxbin, a platform for posting people's private information. Arian tried to buy it, but the deal went sour. The original owners, feeling betrayed, decided to retaliate. They used their own platform to do what it did best. They doxed him. They released a file containing Arian's full name, his address, and personal details. Suddenly, the anonymous digital phantom known as White or Breachbase had a real-world identity. The online world he had mastered had turned against him. In January 2022, the police raided his family home. They seized his computers, convinced they had their man. But they found nothing. Arian was clever. He had routed all his activity through virtual private servers, leaving no trace on his local machines. Without evidence, they had to let him go. He walked free, feeling untouchable, invincible. And with this newfound confidence, he immediately got back online and set his sights on the ultimate prize. A target so secret, so hyped, that breaking it would be the crowning achievement of his career, Grand Theft Auto 6. Placed under strict bail conditions, Arian was moved from his home to a Travelodge hotel. His computer was gone, his internet access supposedly restricted. He was in a cage. But this cage had Wi-Fi. All he needed was a cheap Amazon Fire Stick and a smartphone. Isolated and defiant, he began his reconnaissance. He saw the immense hype, the deafening silence from Rockstar, and knew he had found his mark. He didn't need a high-tech lab, just a hotel room, a phone, and a connection to the outside world. The infiltration was a masterclass in social engineering. It began simply. He posed as a Rockstar support staff member needing a password reset. He managed to trick an employee into giving him their login credentials. Once inside, it was like finding a key to the entire kingdom. He got into Rockstar's internal Slack channel, and there, in plain sight, were the credentials for everything. It was a perfect cascade of human error, and Arian exploited every single step. He moved through their digital defenses not by breaking down walls, but by simply walking through the front door they'd left open for him. He was in. He had access to the crown jewels, the source code, the test builds, the videos. $2 billion of work, a decade of secrets, all sitting on a server, waiting for him. Imagine the feeling of power. With a few clicks, he downloaded 90 videos of early gameplay footage, and then he made his final move. He logged onto a forum and posted a message. Here are 90 footage clips from GTA 6. The internet exploded. News outlets around the globe picked up the story. The leak was everywhere. Rockstar Games was forced to issue a public statement acknowledging the network intrusion and expressing their deep disappointment. The damage was estimated at over $3.5 million, but the reputational cost was immeasurable. The response from law enforcement was swift and decisive. Just 4 days after the leak, a joint force of UK police and the FBI stormed his hotel room. The raid was aggressive. They smashed the door down, determined not to let him get away a second time. This time, they found the smoking gun. Hidden under his mattress was a single iPhone 13 Pro Max. That phone contained the digital fingerprints that irrefutably linked him to the Rockstar hack and the Lapsus group. His anonymity was shattered. The invincible hacker was finally caught. What followed was a complex legal battle. While detained in a young offenders institute, Arian underwent extensive psychiatric evaluation. The courts were presented with a difficult picture, a young man of extraordinary technical brilliance, but one whose severe autism spectrum disorder meant he was unable to understand the real-world consequences of his actions. The judge delivered a unique verdict. Arian was found to have committed the acts, but due to his psychiatric condition, he was deemed unfit to stand trial with criminal intent. He wasn't a criminal mastermind in the eyes of the law, but a vulnerable individual who didn't grasp the harm he was causing. Today, Lapsus is silent. Arian Courage is not in prison. Instead, he remains in a secure hospital, his future uncertain. But his legacy is undeniable. He proved that the biggest corporate secrets in the world can be undone not by a state-sponsored attack, but by a single determined teenager in a hotel room with a smartphone. The GTA 6 leak is now a permanent chapter in gaming history, a chilling reminder of just how fragile our digital world truly is. Thank you so much for watching. This story is a fascinating look into the mind of a modern-day hacker and the new challenges we face in cybersecurity. If you found this documentary engaging, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more deep dives into the stories that shape our world. See you next time.